The clairvoyance of being press is limited, and so we rely on press releases. This week has been a rather quiet week by comparison to most. Not really that much going on. There's only really one email to talk about, and that is that the ESIC, the Esports Integrity Council Disciplinary Panel, has become operational with an official launch, with a formal launch this week. I've talked about the ESIC quite a few times recently, but this is the official launch of their disciplinary panel. For those that don't know, the ESIC is an organisation that wants to enforce regulations onto esports, that being the same way that people like the Olympic Committee enforce regulations through the Olympics. As they say on their website, the mission of ESIC is to be the recognised guardian of the integrity of esports and take to the responsibility for disruption, prevention, investigation and prosecution of all forms of cheating, including but not limited to match manipulation and doping. They have set out their constitution and their rules and regulations and their principles very clearly on their website, and you can visit their website and download them in full. To describe what the disciplinary panel does, to use a quote from the release, the panel is a group of respected experts with esports and ideally legal experience to provide independent inquiries, investigations and rulings, including appeals in relation to matters brought to its attention. The disciplinary panel is the legal part of the organisation. It is the part that makes the rulings and brings down the judgments on people that breaches its regulations. In the release, they also give a full release of who is now on the panel, and it is very legal. All but one has a legal background. The chair of the panel is Kevin Carpenter, principal and consultant of Captive Legal and Sports Solutions UK, with the other members being Alfonso Leon, Anno Baumann, Daniel Schult, James Kitching, Lila Russo, Pedro Fida and Richard Bush. And as a way to try and increase transparency, they have their biographies on the esportsintegrity.com website. It's very good seeing organisations like this become more established and become a much more legal power within the esports industry. Having a regulator with this power and of this magnitude gives the esports community and the esports players and the sport more integrity and much more legitimacy. With this being a relatively quiet week, it's time to get through some of the smaller stories that made through on Games Press. The first of the stories is a story that everyone seems to be talking about, and that is the Mutant Football League Kickstarter. It is a spiritual successor to a game released in 1993 by EA called Mutant League Football, back in the old 16-bit era. This is actually the second time it's been on Kickstarter, with the original time being back in 2013, where the funding failed. They managed to get $141,000 out of the $750,000 they needed. This time they went for a much more conservative $60,000 and managed to get it over Super Bowl Sunday. As with all Kickstarter projects, this is one where you have to kind of take a step back and wait and see. Just because a game was Kickstarted doesn't necessarily mean it's going to come out. But there is some sort of hope, and there is some sort of hope that it's going to be good. This next story is kind of connected to a couple of videos that should be going up from tomorrow. The Sniper Ghost Warrior 3 beta. The beta itself contains 2 story missions and a section of the map, not the entire map. I'm going to reserve me talking about the beta in too much detail, as I have a write-up coming up, and you should read that. And on the talk of pre-releases, Neocore Games has announced that the public alpha for Warhammer 40k Inquisitor Martyr opens on February 10th. I got to play a bit of this game at Gamescom, and I quite liked it. The game itself is kinda like a MOBA, kinda like the old Diablo games. It looked great and played fine, so I might find myself playing this one. As we started with an esports story, I think it's fitting that we end with an esports story. And that is that the tickets to the Halo World Championship European qualifiers are now available. It takes place from February 17th to 19th at Wembley, with the teams fighting over a $25,000 prize pool. If you are interested in attending the event, you can buy the tickets from gfinity.net/events. They are the lead sellers and one of the sponsors for the event. As it is the beginning of the week, it is time to go through the All Formats UK charts. It's one that hasn't really changed. Resident Evil 7 is still number 1, with Grand Theft Auto and FIFA still clawing at the heels. But there are a few new additions, with Hitman the complete first season, the full pack of all of the missions for Hitman, coming into number 4, and Titanfall 2 coming in back into 18, and Pucci and Yoshi's Woolly World coming in for Nintendo right in the number 20 for a new release. And as for games that are going to be released this week, we have Crickle Breeze for Mac and PC, How to Survive 2 for PS4, Mars Simulator Red Planet for PC, Soletra for PC Online, Words Up Academy for the Wii U, Alice in Wonderland for iOS, Mahjong Deluxe for PS4, Neo for PS4, Splasher for PC, WWE 2K17 for PC, VR Ping Pong for PS4 Online, Post Night for Android and iOS, Idioctopus for Android and iOS and PC, Tuhu Ginzo Wanderer for PS4 and PSVR, and Typo Man Revisited for Linux. As always, I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you really did enjoy, subscribe and share it about. And I'll see you on Friday for the next Press Rush.